Hello, welcome to Farrell Swim Tech. My name is John Farrell. This is the live stream where I use my 15 years of competition experience and soon to be 13 years of private coaching experience to help you get faster in the water. So always big shout out to Team Zoot. Thank you very much for allowing me to commandeer this airspace to be able to yammer about swimming. So with that in mind, I'd like to start today's stream with the announcement of a new service that I am going to be offering. I am going to throw my hat into the virtual coaching arena. Now understand, this is a very, very limited offering, as in I got 2 slots, and it might be 1 slot depending on scheduling, because here's the deal. So I want to do more of a one-on-one, hands-on, help people with swimming coaching, okay? I want to do this. The only thing is I know that my personal time is extremely limited. I cannot do this full-time, okay? I'm just putting it out there right now. Right now, on my plate, I got a family. I have 3 kids. They're all, the oldest is in 6th grade, so they're all pretty young. I have my own private lessons that I do that bring in a decent, steady side income. I'm a professional civil engineer. I design fake rocks and swimming pools. That's my job. And then I help out with my church. I help out with the swim team. I do my own triathlon training, and I'm currently doing bunches of house projects. So my time is insanely limited. However, what I want to do is I want to start developing this program to where I can offer something akin to effortless swimming, to where I can have a complete library of online of swim workouts that you can get. I can have, a streamlined coaching, streamlined coaching to where, I can say, okay, at X amount of dollars a month, you get workouts. X amount of dollars, you get one-on-one visits. But so I'm wanting to try this out. Unfortunately, like I said, my time is very limited, so I can only do 1, possibly 2. I was thinking of doing 2, but there's a distinct possibility I might only be able to have 1 spot open for this. Like I said, you're also going to be the guinea pig if you decide to join. The whole reason for this is I haven't done something like this before. This is going to be experimental. I have a lot of good ideas. I have a lot of things that I've seen. But this is basically putting my theories into practice and having a willing participant that is able to do this. Now, the nitty-gritty. What is this going to involve? Well, this is going to involve, at minimum, 2 swim workouts a week. At minimum. If you can get 3, that would be best. So you need to be able to get at least 3 hour to hour and a half swim workouts a week. And you're going to need to be a little bit flexible because, like I've said before, I'm a little new to writing workouts. Now, I don't, and this is going to vary between swimmers. Maybe I give you a workout and you do it and you only got halfway through the workout, okay, in your allotted time. So, yes, there's going to be a little bit of tinkering. There's going to be a little bit of, back and forth, and, while I get the balance of these workouts all set up. Also, it's going to involve a virtual, my standard stroke technique review that I've done in the past, where you must be able to send me video. And definitely preference will be given to those who can also get underwater footage, okay? So, like I said, I'm going to be very picky with who I select on this one. So you need to be dedicated. You need to be, this isn't like oh, well, maybe I'll try that. No. I need like Determined people. You need to have determination. It must fill you with determination. Yes, that is an Undertale reference. So you need to be able to 2 to 3 workouts a week. You need to be able to film yourself, because I want video twice a month. Once at the beginning of the month, once when we start, and then another video about 2 weeks after. Hold on one second. So 2 video sessions a month. And then you need to be able to meet with me twice a month. Okay, you need to be able to hop on a Zoom call. We'll go over the video, and we'll discuss the way forward. Okay, and then on top of that, you must be willing to do the dry land. Okay, there's going to be a heavy dry land aspect of this course. This is how Pharaoh Swim Tech is going to differ than other offerings, where I am going to put a lot more focus on dry land. So you are going to need to have access to cables. I have a set of cables back there. You need to have access to stretch cables, because stretch cables is going to be a huge part of this. Stretch cables will more adequately work on the catch and the pull of the stroke. Now, if you don't have them and you're absolutely willing to purchase them, I will supply you with a link to Amazon, and yes, that's through my Amazon account, my Amazon Associates account, and you'll be able to purchase them for this course. So there's going to be a cables requisite, or you will be working on cables, working on that catch on dry land. And on top of that, there will be a dynamic triathlete aspect to this course, where you will need to commit 20 minutes a day to mobility work. And this is going to be on top of the dry land and the pool workouts. So I've always been a huge proponent of dynamic triathlete. They have a very solid stretching regimen. They'll do much better. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let me fix that real quick. We're gonna delete that. There you go. So I've always been a huge fan of dynamic triathlete. Hold on one second. I've always been a huge fan of dynamic triathlete, and I want to integrate their app into what I'm doing. Eventually, I would love to be able to strike a deal with dynamic triathlete and say, hey, look, I do virtual coaching, and I am going to I'm going to have all my athletes use your app for stretching and mobility, and see if I can cut a better deal. But the deal I have right now with them is 10% off, so it's an extra $80 for the entire year. Now, whether or not you decide to keep going with the virtual coaching with me, whether you just want to do 1 or 2 months, that is, that's up to you, but you'll have that app for the entirety of the year. Yes, there will be a special link that you'll be able to use in order to help out the stream with this purchase. So, and like I said, this is 10% off. It's going to be about $80 a year, or if you want to do it monthly, it's going to be about $8 a month. So this is something that I feel like this is going to be a different way than you've seen some other people do it, but I have high confidence that this will work. Unfortunately, I can't do a 30-day guarantee you'll swim faster. I can't do that. This is very much so experimental, okay? You're going to be my little lab rat, and I will try different things. So basically, you're going to get the workouts, you're going to get the dry land, you're going to get the standard stroke technique review. You're going to get 2 reviews in a month. and we'll kind of discuss where you're going, what you want to do, and how you're going to be able to get there. And also 100%, this is not a conditioning set of workouts. This is not a, oh, I want to swim, I swim a 140 and I just want to get to 130. No. This is not a strength. This is not a conditioning regimen of workouts that I'm giving you. This isn't going to boost whatever. This is heavy technique. This is technique boot camp. Okay, that's what this is. So the cost is going to be $100 a month. So it's going to be, but I can guarantee you're going to get good value for your money, and this is already much cheaper than anyone else on the market right now that's offering this service. And I just did a search, and it's upwards to, the cheapest I saw was $115, but that doesn't involve workouts. That's just the analysis. That's just the standard of what I already do. And yes, that the virtual stroke technique review, where you send your stuff in, I check it out, I send it back to you, you donate whatever you want. That's not going away. That's still there. So if all you want is just the technique review, and I send you an email back, and I make the video, send you an email back, and kind of discuss what we've had. If you want a couple email correspondences, hey, I'm still cool with that. I got no problems with that. If you want the workouts and if you want the dedicated package, that's going to be the $100 donation a month. And that's kind of a fixed donation. I'm being careful with my language here. So yes, it's going to involve upfront. It's going to be about $180, where you're donating for the one-on-one services, and then on top of that, you're going to be paying the $80 for Dynamic Triathlete and or the $8 a month. So that's basically it. If you're interested in this and you want to know more, feralswimtech@gmail.com. Send me an email there. We'll talk about it. Like I said, there's only one, maybe two spots available, because remember, I'm a one-man band. It's me. That's it. So I don't have a huge infrastructure. I don't have any of that built up yet. But this is someone who's willing to help invest in Feral Swim Tech and help me kind of get this off the ground. Eventually, I want to have an online set of workouts to where maybe you can only pay $30 a month for access to all these workouts. And then in the future, I can really film, I can actually get an editor, because I used to do yo-yo videos on YouTube, but my crappy Windows Windows Movie Maker. That's it. My Windows Movie Maker skills, they're not translating into these newer, shinier programs, and I also don't have the time to edit. So yeah, one of these days I'll figure out someone who can edit for a reasonable price, and I can actually put together a whole list of all these videos that I have in mind and stuff like that. So okay. So that's it for the virtual coaching, feralswimtech@gmail.com. Any inquiries, stroke technique, or the stroke technique review service, which, like I said, that is a donate whatever you want. I don't have a fixed price for that. And the one-on-one virtual coaching, one, possibly two spots for that. Okay, so let's transition back into kicking land here. So for those of you that watched 2 weeks ago, you know that we did a huge deep dive into kicking, and this was really a, boot camp into the technique of kicking. Now, what we're going to do today is we are going to discuss frequency and racing with kicking. I kind of started talking about this stuff last week, But then I realized, oh crap, I am so far over time, and yeah, I didn't really adequately discuss this. So we're gonna talk about it this week. So kick frequency is kind of a weird thing. It's kind of a weird thing with triathletes, especially since we know that we got a bike and a run leg to do after the swim. So there's a lot of different philosophies that are out there. Now, like I said before, I am a pool snob. I am not really an open water guy. I did not do an open water race until 2019, and that was 10 years, like literally 11 years after my pool career finished. So I really know pools. I'm still learning open water. I'm decent at open water, but definitely I'm a much better pool swimmer. However, there's a lot of carryover in terms of kicking theory from the pool to the open water. And the big question is kind of what should I do? Because obviously we're balancing being able to produce something with the kick and not blowing out our kick, and being able to get on the bike and the run. My only problem is I am not very good on the bike and the run. So I don't necessarily have a super great, I don't race I only get about 4 races in a year. So to be brutally honest, I only have a lot of theories on this. My practicality is I just kind of swim the way that I would normally swim, and then I just do what I can on the bike. So in terms of like actual pro strategies, sorry, I had something I was grinding under my foot and it was annoying me. So in terms of actual, how the pros do it and what's the optimal way to do it, I don't necessarily know. And like I said, that is mostly because I'm not a biker, okay? I am not a cyclist. So because of that, we're going into theory land, and I'm talking about more gearing you for what is going to be efficient. Oh shoot! Got hit with more yawns. I'm sorry. So what is going to be the most efficient kick? Because at the end of the day, your kick is only going to be about 10% of your overall speed. It's not much. However, if you don't have a kick, the resulting drag forces and wasted energy are a massive net negative on your speed. So unfortunately, you're kind of in a position where if you invest a junk load of time in your kick, not really going to get that much out of it. However, if you don't, you're potentially going to lose a junk load of time. So when we talk about kick frequency, we typically talk in beats, and I kind of started talking about this 2 weeks ago. We talk about beats. There's a 2-beat kick, a 4-beat kick, and a 6-beat kick. Okay, 8-beat kick is right out. No one goes more than a 6-beat kick. It's not necessarily possible. Legitimately, you would have to slow down your arms a lot in order to be able to pull off a 6-beat kick. So what are the differences? So what is a beat kick? So a beat kick is known as a kicks per stroke cycle. It's kind of like a time signature. And this is where I talked about last week, where we want to make our legs the metronome. We want our legs to be the drummer. Bum, 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 bum. Think of it like the old Viking ships, and they rode, and there was a dude banging the drums to keep everyone in rhythm. So it's something that if you do this, you're going to find a huge improvement in your overall stroke efficiency, and that's because you're adjusting your arms to match your legs. Your legs set the rhythm. Your arms will match the legs. So 2-beat kick, obviously, that's 1 beat, that's 1 kick per arm cycle. So you're going to wind up kicking 1 leg per arm. 4-beat kick, 2 kicks per arm cycle. Oh, sorry. 2 kicks per arm pull. So there's going to be 2 kicks with the right arm pull, 2 kicks with the left arm pull. And then there's going to be a 6-beat, which is 3 kicks per arm pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in all of my in what I do and how I personally swim, I swear by a 4-beat kick. I don't like a 6-beat kick because one of two things happens. Number one, you move the legs so fast, they are horrendously inefficient, and you waste a lot of energy just wiggling legs. And this is like legitimate leg wiggle. Number two, you have to slow down your arm speed in order to allow the 6 kicks to happen. Personally, that's what happens to me. I have to slow the arms down in order to get that extra kick in, and it just doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work very well. And the other thing too is that it's harder to scale up. It's harder to go faster with a 6-beat kick unless you spend an inordinate amount of time. Not ornament. I know this is Christmas time. An inordinate, whatever. However you pronounce that word. Unless you spend a junk load of time. There you go. We're just gonna filthy casual it up here. Unless you spend a lot of time honing your kick and really making it fast and powerful, you're not going to be able to add that extra 2 kicks in when it comes to you're trying to swim faster. Like you're trying to cut down your 100-yard personal best, or you're trying to cut down maybe a 200 or a 500 split. You're going to want to move the arms faster, and if you're moving the arms faster, you got to move the legs faster, okay? That might be where a lot of you are getting into issues with regards to kick and pull. Just because you're trying to move faster, but the legs are moving faster, but the arms aren't moving faster. But you can't move the arms faster because the legs got to move faster, but you can't move the legs faster. But then you start wiggling and you get nothing out of your legs, and it just snowballs. It just snowballs out of control. So now let's go to the other side of the equation, and let's go with a 2-beat kick. Okay, 2-beat kick. I don't like it. I don't like 2-beat kick. The only instance where I think a 2-beat kick might be decent is if you're truly doing a full Ironman distance and you absolutely want to crush that bike segment and you're more than willing to sacrifice time in the swimming. Because that is the 2-beat kick 100% will be the most efficient kicking frequency that you can do. The only thing the only thing that more than likely will happen is that you wind up mixing frequency with amplitude. Okay, so instead of kicking 4 smaller kicks, you're going to kick 2 bigger kicks. And typically a very common problem I see with a 2-beat kick is scissoring, where you split the legs super wide on the kick, and the wider you go, the more forward forces get generated with the legs, and that actually actively stops you. I've seen it so bad where I see a person swim like this. The splaying of the legs totally draws him backwards about like an inch. He's using so much force on the kick that when he passes the midpoint and he's splitting the legs to the sides, that causes him to move about an inch backwards. So it's horrendously inefficient. Now, Usually it's kind of a kick. Usually it's just a bend the knee kind of a thing. But yeah, it's 2-beat kick is just horrendously. I just don't like it. I don't like it. So now 4-beat. 4-beat is my sorry. 4-beat is my preferred method of kicking. So it's 2 kicks per arm pull. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So kicking with 2 kicks per side is going to require a lot of mental training. It's a lot more mental training than physical training. Because all you have to do for the physical is it just requires a little bit of coordination. So you need to get your your kick tempo down, and dry land is the way that you're going to do it. You're going to do it in a combination of dry land and in the water. So this is kind of the regimen of working on this. And this is also the same with the kicking regimen that I've discussed with multiple times on this stream previous to this particular stream. So basically what it is you do Superman kicks. Superman kicks on your stomach, Superman kicks on your back. Focus on moving the entire leg. So then what you're going to do is you're going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So my kick rate is about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That's about as fast as I kick about 90% of the time. Doesn't have to be stupid fast. It just needs to be constant. Never stop. Always kicking, always pulling. So what we're doing is we're creating a bike situation where the back cog and the front cog are working together. So you need to work on the rhythm, and you need to establish that rhythm, and then we get in the pool, and then we kick with that rhythm. And then you start working to match the arms to the legs. Now, this is going to take a little bit of experimentation. You're going to feel extremely silly when you do this. But I guarantee you, once you learn to 4-beat kick, you're not going to go back. It's just too good. It's too good. I love it. It's great. But it requires using the entirety of the leg. It doesn't require it, but it's greatly enhanced if you work on your technique, like we talked about 2 weeks ago, using the entirety of your leg to kick rather than just using your knee and flopping your lower leg. Okay, so that's the main discussion on kick frequency. Make your kick become the pace setter for your arms, and then move on to use your arm speed to match your leg speed. Okay. So now kicking during competitions. Okay. So basically one of the episodes that we'll talk about is gears. We're going to talk about gears in terms of racing strategies. Now, racing gears are more of a advanced swimming technique, where basically you're going to have, I'd say about 3 gears. So you're going to have your start gear, which is going to be, probably about the first 100, maybe 200 yards of your swim. This wants to be really short. Basically, this is if you're in an upper tier like me, getting out ahead of the pack, getting a little bit of distance ahead of the churn. And then you'll settle into your distance gear, which your distance gear is just go. This is your set it in 3rd gear, 4th gear. I don't know. I don't know manuals that well. You know, if you got a long stretch of road ahead of you, you're putting it in fourth gear, I guess. I don't know manuals. Yeah, this is where my man card gets revoked for me not knowing cars that well. I can hear my buddy, I can hear my car buddy totally yelling at me right now. So you put it in that gear and you just go. And then you got a turning gear because you got to make a turn and then get a little speed back in order to pop into your cruising gear. And then you got your overtaking gear just in case, you know, you're kind of like, okay, I can overtake this guy or I'm lapping a guy. So you want to pick up the speed a little bit to overtake and then settle back down to your gear. And then you got your finishing gear, which you're getting into the finish line. You want to finish strong, kind of want to get everything shook out, and then get ready to get out of that water and get back to transition. But basically for your kick, I'm sorry, my nasal cavity is hating me this morning. So, in terms of your kick, your sprint portion obviously is going to have a stronger kick. You're going to want to, you're basically, if you're following the 4-beat kick, I'm sorry, I am super terrible with yawns this morning. I do profusely apologize for that. You're going to want to ramp up the kick a little bit at the start of the race, not too much. Basically, if you want to sprint at the beginning of the race, you're going to want to be an advanced swimmer, because one thing that's going to do is it's going to spark your heart rate. It's going to spike your heart rate quite a bit. If you're really going for that fast start, you're going to be loading a lot more of your arms right out the gate. The kick is going to be beneficial if you have it, but definitely control the burn of that kick. Only make it a controlled burn of about 30 seconds max. You're gonna want to, you know, gradually start stepping down the intensity to where your distance gear is. I mean, to be brutally honest, back when I swam 500s, and that's basically what a sprint distance is. At most places it's about a 500. It's about 500 to 750 yards. It's kind of variable. But basically we would do it back in college. Oh yeah. But back in college, we would go first fastest. So there's 500s. Your first 100's the fastest. Then 5, 4, 3, 2. So your last 100 is the second fastest. Your first 100 is the fastest. And the difference between the fastest 100 and the slowest 100 is literally the split is less than a second. It's like maybe a second per 100. It's a very, very tight 1 second. But that's what we would train. That's how we would train. So your distance and sprint gears are going to be much, much different. I don't recommend only having your distance gear be 1 second slower than your sprint gear. Don't recommend that at all. Sorry. So you're going to want to use the legs a little bit at the beginning. By the way, if you are not a great swimmer, a very, very good strategy to develop is wait. Wait a couple seconds. Let the first guys that are rushing out get out there. You're going to save yourself a lot of energy and probably swallowing a lot of water if you just kind of wait for a second or two. Let the first wave go and then go. Okay? You're going to get much better water. And I know that there's a lot of people, drafting. If you're not that confident in your swim ability, don't even worry about drafting unless you got a buddy you're swimming with and the two of you are going to kind of tag team it. throughout the race, and you have similar swimming capabilities, or you got a friend that's very generous. There's a certain someone that's in Arizona that was very generous at Palm Springs, and he wasn't too happy with me, the fact that I got 5th overall. Hey buddy, how you doing? I'm not gonna call him out by name. You know who you are. But I feel like the two of us are going to become stupid rivals. Yeah, we're going to have a silly rivalship for years to come. So anyway, so with racing, you do want to not go heavy on the legs. You're going to go heavy on the arms. What's going to happen is you're going to be like, for me, man, really, I am struggling this morning. I even got decent sleep last night. So when you're really focusing on your race, with regards to legs, you're gonna like for me personally, my arms are dead by the time I get out of the water. My arms are just toast. My legs are feeling pretty good. So legs don't put a lot of work in. I put a lot more effort on my arms. Just remember too, the other dirty secret is that the difference between a sprint stroke and a distance stroke should only be about 2 strokes per 25. It should only be about 2-4 max per 25. So it's. And unfortunately, I don't really know strokes per minute. I don't know that metric too well. I'd have to do a bunch of workouts and get sprints in, get distance in, and then really kind of look over those metrics. So we'll need to basically. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. I better wrap this up pretty quick because I am losing my train of thought. So basically what needs to happen with racing is you need to find a comfortable kick and you need to be disciplined with that kick. The worst thing that you can do is get into the race situation and go, oh, I'm going to go fast. Blah. Then you're going to hurt yourself, in terms of going anaerobic, in terms of oxygen supply, stuff like that. So learn to get a steady kick during your training, and then work to implement that kick during your race. So that's the discussion on kick and frequency. So next time on the stream, we are going to talk about breathing, which is probably something I should have done more today. That might be why I'm yawning too much. I may not be breathing enough. So we're going to talk about breathing technique next time. We're going to pull the bench out. We're going to talk about it. So once again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I do profusely apologize for the preponderance of yawning this morning. I don't know what's going on. So feralswimtech@gmail.com if you're interested in applying for the virtual coaching, one-on-one coaching, as well as if there's anything, if there's any swimming related questions, just shoot me an email. I got no issues, just hammering out an email and talking about stuff. If you want to know more about what I do, the live streaming stuff, the Amazon store, check the link tree. This is basically just kind of my repository for all things that are associated with me. There's a couple things on there that are where if you sign up for this, use my offer code, like I get a little cut, stuff like that. So if you want to check it out, go right on ahead. Link tree's in the comments as always. Also, big shout out to Dynamic Triathlete for helping sponsor this stream. So once again, thank you all so much for tuning in, all of you that did. I do apologize. I was a little bit all over the board today. I don't know, my mind, I don't know what's going on this morning. Maybe a little bit more tired than I anticipated. So next week we're going to be on, we're going to be talking about breathing. Keep training. By the way, those of you that are in the Southern California area, there is a possibility where I might do a 100 100s, probably on the 2nd or the 3rd of January. It's going to be located in my hometown. So if you're interested, feralswimtech@gmail.com. I'll see if I can get something set up. It's more of a kind of have some fun, relax, get some teammates together. Let's just have a good time. So that's everything I got today. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Everyone that did, next broadcast is going to be about breathing. And until then, my friends, good night, Isaiah Norris, wherever you are. I'm out of here. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.